Greetings. This is Elder Blacklight, a brother like no other, brings you the flavor that will save you and the kind of knowledge you won't get in college. 78 years on being on this planet. That's 7 decades. I call myself the counsel to the young G's, counsel to the young gods. Like I say, I just pop up. Granddaddy pop up. Pops. I just come in when the spirit hits me. And if you one of my subscribers, I hope that you make sure that notification bell is pressed. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. You know, they muted my comments, the comments section, the chat room. They muted that. I don't know why. But for a long time, I don't see what you chat about. And right now, it's showing no one has come into the room yet, as they say. But that's okay, because I'm going to post this stream, and by the day being the 4th of July, it'll probably show up tomorrow. But when you notice on the movie channels, all the movies, the patriotic movies, showing the Caucasians' independence. And if you notice, that's Detroit in the back. The name of this video is Motown is Sacred Ground, Part 2. And yesterday, I posted a video, Part 1, Motown is Sacred Ground. And it posted today. It was live yesterday, but now it's passé. So I bet you didn't think that I was going to make a video on the 4th of July. And a lot of people was celebrating the Caucasians' independence. But I want to call your attention to that Master Farad Muhammad, Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, came to Detroit on the 1st of July to raise up the black men to be independent. Came to Black Bottom to raise up the black man to be independent from his oppressor. Like in the Bible, Revelations, it tells us to come out of her. Come out of Babylon, Sin City, where every foul bird, with every sin or foul, dirty thought that you can imagine, came to the United States of America to commit unadulterated sin. but except the black man. He was brought over here and changed. The rest who come over here volunteer, known as uh, migrants or legal aliens. Then you got those that are illegal, masses of those that are illegal. And they are getting the benefits that the slave, the freed slave, that's the terminology that they turn to the black man. When they said they freed him, they called him a freed slave. What do that mean, a freed slave? Well, I take it like it means physically you are freed, but mentally you are still a slave. You will still want to please the white man. Because at the time that America gained its independence, she was holding slaves. It was a law saying that you could have slaves. That was a law. So why do you want to celebrate something like that? I don't know. But you can celebrate the coming of Allah in the person of Master Farah Muhammad on this very day, the white man's Independence Day, July the 4th, 1930. Stayed in Detroit, came to Black Bottom, stayed in Detroit 3.5 years just to teach the greatest messenger to the black man of all times, our only messenger. Because the rest of the prophets came to other nations, not the black nation. And the reason why he came over here to the black nation is to give us back our right minds, because we were acting other than self, and to remind us that our true nature is Islam, is Muslim. And that's been a while back, but we still haven't understood the message and understood who we really are. Because the white man's time to rule was up in 1914. The year they passed the Federal Reserve Act, which means you had to give up all your gold to the Federal Reserve Bank, of gold and silver, bonds or whatever, that the U.S. Treasury used to control, that the Congress used to coin gold as money, and now it's being replaced by the Federal Reserve Bank. They print up the money. They changed it to the Federal Reserve note. And you're in trillions and trillions of dollars worth of debt that you owe the Federal Reserve, which make you a slave. White people too. They don't know it though. They don't talk about it. They don't want to know it. So Allah and the Prophet Master Farah Muhammad gave them a little mercy, gave them time in the time to do the black man right. He will give those that want to do the black man right a little mercy. It's doomsday, and it's subject to happen any minute. That this part of the planet will be destroyed. And he's given the black man time enough to learn this so he can return to righteousness, his rightful nature. So he raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as messenger to deliver that message to you, which it talks about in Revelations and in Malachi, King James Version of the Bible. Master Farah Muhammad is the Jesus, the modern day Jesus, the modern day Christ, the modern day Messiah, the modern day Mahdi. And all this turmoil that the Arabs are going through, so-called Arabs, they don't want to recognize the slave over here. They talk about every other nation, but they don't want to give justice to the prisoners of war. They don't want to recognize the Holocaust that the prisoners of war once made physical slaves and now mental slaves. They don't want to give him no recognition. They can't recognize us. So they had war with America, an economic war, a mental war, spiritual war. But they don't set you aside, black man. They don't distinguish you from your white slave master, because you no longer wear your holy names no more. You no longer wear your holy names. You insist on wearing your slave master's name. When in Revelations it said, that's the mark of the beast. You're wearing the devil's name. Get out the devil's name and wear the names of Allah. And don't take the mark of the beast. So y'all can't understand that. Y'all can't pay it no attention because y'all want to please your slave master. So when you used to have businesses of your own, in Detroit, you were 80% plus black, had your own business. Then the Arabs came because they weren't satisfied with the Islamic way, whereas the Islamic states in Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syria. You know, they came over here as citizens and they call themselves Muslim American. But if you know your Islam, Islam has no boundaries. It has no states. You're just a Muslim. Your nationality is Muslim. That's why Master Farah Muhammad named us over here the slave, one slave. We still slaves though, mentally. He named us the lost found nation of Islam. The lost found nation of Islam. They want to call us black Muslim. But nothing goes in front of that word Muslim. It's just Muslim. They want to say Prophet Mustafa Muhammad founded Islam. No, Prophet Mustafa Muhammad was sent to those Arabs over there that's fighting right now the United States and Israel to raise them up. But 10 years after, not even 10 years after the Prophet Mustafa Muhammad deceased, they didn't follow the teachings. They split themselves up into sects. So you got Sunni, you got the Shiite, several more different Muslims, kind of Muslims they say, that they let the devil, Shaitan, split them up. So they came over here, you know, from Iraq, Iran, came straight to Detroit, took over Dearborn, set up businesses where the Jews used to run the neighborhoods, stores, supermarkets, gas stations. And where we used to run, we had our own supermarkets, gas stations. They took over the gas stations, took over the banks, where it says in Islamic country, you can't charge interest. We call it usury. When they came over here, set up banks and loans, they charge interest, just like the devil. Yeah, they charge interest. Now that they got double crossed by America and Israel, they protesting in Dearborn. They protesting in the universities. You know, but you came over here willingly to join their politics. Islam has its own politics. Like in Iran, how they run their country is Islamic. But a lot of Iranians is over in Dearborn. See, I used to hang out with them for a minute. I used to live over that way. And I had an associate. See, I had a rooming house. And in my rooming house, I had three different kind of Muslims over there. Because we started dividing ourselves in the Nation of Islam up into sects. Some of them went with Warfdeen Muhammad, who adopted the so-called Orthodox Muslim and said the Nation of Islam were fake Muslims. And a lot of FOI and brothers, mostly all of them, went and followed Wafd Muhammad. And they started attending mosques in Dearborn. They built a mosque, a beautiful mosque in Dearborn. But they didn't want to associate with the black people. And Minister Farrakhan they had a falling out. OI used to sell fruit. They used to get it from the Muslims in Dearborn. And they fell out with the Muslims in Dearborn. So Mr. Farrakhan came to make peace with the FOI and those Orthodox Muslims in Dearborn. And I had one of my roomers who was a follower of Wallace Dean, that once was a follower of the Honorable Light Muhammad. And so he tried to sway me into familiarizing myself with the Orthodox way. So I went with him on a couple of occasions because he had a lot of so-called Middle Eastern or Arab Muslim friends. And he knew all the different sects, the Shiites and everything. And they discriminated against him. And when they discriminated against him, I quit, hanging around him like that. I still had him as a renter, though. He still rented from me. But I told him that they don't like black people. And I said, I could tell by the way they treated you. And you dress like them. You used to dress like them. He used to talk like them. He went to Hajj a couple of times. And they made him, we went to a supermarket, a grocery store. And the clerks were waiting on some Arab Muslims or some Arabs. They were finished shopping, they got rang up, they rung them up, They rung them up. Had us waiting to get rung up for about 10 minutes. And so I told him, I said, man, say something, because I didn't buy nothing from him, but he bought something. And he wouldn't say nothing to him. So I told him, I said, put this stuff back, man. Put the items that you bought back if they're not going to wait on you. But he insisted on them waiting on it. Finally, he spoke up, and they was reluctant on him shopping there. Now, not all of them was like that. The Muslims from Iraq, I noticed, they were a little more darker. And the Muslims from Egypt, they were a little more darker. Someone was my color. They had a different, attitude about black people. But my beef with them is they call themselves American Muslim. And they practice Americanism. and democracy. And Islam got its own politics. So I learned firsthand on how the so-called Orthodox American Muslim feel about black people. They don't want to share their knowledge. Then I found out that they don't know too much about the Quran. Some of them can't even read that Quranic scripture, Arabic. So they over here, and when they started fighting on October the 7th over in Palestine, the Arabs, the Chaldeans, started protesting, told Biden that they weren't going to vote for him. So Biden denounced Israel, said they were committing war crimes, just so he could get their vote here in Michigan, because Michigan is a key state, you know. And I don't know if they're going to vote for Trump. Some of them thinking about contemplating on not voting at all. But the black man, they never was slaves, black man. They came over here free will. But you was forced over here. You were kidnapped. And you still gonna vote in crooked politics. Yesterday I heard on the news that the sun is killing them. So the scientist has a apparatus to block out the sun. They said, what if we could block out the sun? But here in Detroit, it's about 80-some degrees, you know, maybe 87, something like that. But it's cloudy. The wind is blowing. It's humid. But that's like almost like tropical weather, Mediterranean weather. And we've been having it kind of pleasant. Not like others. Why? Motown is sacred ground. Motown is sacred ground. I repeat, Allah in the person of Master Farah Muhammad came to raise up the black man. Get him out of that slave mentality. So he's giving you time, black man, here in Detroit, especially because he came to Detroit first and established the Lost Foundation of Islam, Temple Number 1. This is Detroit, California, Florida, Texas. All of them coming back to Detroit. What they want to say is Detroit was booming when white people was populating it, when they were the majority. And since the 67 and the uprising or riots, whatever you want to say, it don't matter what you call it to me, because it was necessary. Uh, the white people got scared, they moved out. The Arabs stayed, the Chaldeans stayed. And they started coming back because they started having forest fires, heat waves. California ain't had no water, you know. Detroit got 5 Great Lakes, fresh water. So they started coming back, investing in Detroit. So what they want to tell you is that Detroit is the murder capital of the world. But don't believe that hype. They was murdering when Al Capone uh, was in Chicago. The gangsters they had the Purple Gang in Detroit. They had gang wars in Detroit. The gangsters did. The gangsters were killing their people and our people because they was taking over the numbers bracket, which we invented. We invented the number. We invented the lotto. And so they seen how those pennies was adding up. And so they wanted to take it over from us. So they clashed with us. In Chicago too, they clashed in Chicago, New York. They took over the numbers bracket. And now that's why you got the lotto. They made it legal now. So the scientists want your melanin. So they can make a vaccination out of your melanin and inject it, and it'll turn them black. You could go on YouTube right now and see where a white woman called herself a black woman now. She's blacker than me, blacker than a whole lot of us. She also made her lips big, made her nose big, made her butt big. And you can't tell the difference hardly, unless you've seen how she originally looked and seen the transformation. You'll never recognize her. Black man and black woman. But you love the white man. You want to please him. How many black people work for black people? I got a few people coming in, but they leaving out. They don't stick with me for a minute. They stay for a minute, but they don't stick. But some of you, might stick, but I'm going to go ahead on and shut this one down and let you know that the reason why the weather's cool here. It's not really steaming hot. It's been like that, and they predict that's gonna be like that mostly all of this month in July. Motown is sacred ground, y'all. Whether or not you want to accept it or not. But you got only a small amount of time to accept the fact that Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad and act accordingly. Return to your righteous self. Unite. Pull your resources together. Let that dollar circulate in your communities. Build your communities up. Check these young brothers and sisters, get them back in order. This is the only thing I wanted to say today. We're going to come, keep on coming on to you, because I'm going to tell you something. The Democrats is talking about if Trump get in there, it's going to be a civil war. And so I'm warning the black people, don't get in the white people's fights. It's Allah one that's making that happen. That's why Yahweh Elijah Muhammad said, separate before it's too late. And get out the way. Pray later. But get out the way now. Stop mentally celebrating their holidays. And if you stop it mentally, you'll stop it physically. So I'm here to help you with that transmission, young black man, because you can't teach a old dog new tricks. It's too late for your elders. But you young brothers, pay attention. You got a chance. Y'all seen that movie Hunger Games? It's about to be that way here in the United States unless you get the blessings from Allah. So Detroit, Allah is showing the rest of the brothers and sisters, the rest of the black nation, that Detroit is on hold right now. It's best not to vote, because you're voting for the lesser of two evils, but you're still voting for evil. The black man got a different kind of politics. He got the politics of the creator, of the Almighty Allah. So don't get involved in they wars. Don't fight each other. Yahweh Elijah Muhammad said that the black nation is the black, brown, red, and yellow. The white man is not a part of it. He's outside of that. He's the real devil. The original people of the planet Earth is Allah. So don't fight each other, man. Ain't nothing supernatural about reality. There's natural and there's unnatural, but there's not supernatural. I done said enough for today. So we may talk to you tomorrow and ask you how much pork you ate. It asks you, did you celebrate the white man's Independence Day, or did you celebrate the black man's Independence Day? But don't celebrate. And Master Farah Muhammad said, you ain't gotta celebrate. You know, because you're gonna intertwine with the white man's 4th of July holidays. So don't celebrate no holidays. You know. And you don't think that Allah don't know? Or you don't believe that Allah came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad? You better think again, my friend. I repeat, Motown is sacred ground. So all you brothers over in Muslim brothers in LA, Muslim brothers in Chicago, number 2, number 3, number 4, come back to number 1, the original way with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. How he did it, you got to follow in the footsteps of Master Farah Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Build a city and world of your own. And I'm Black Light. I want to say this before I go. I'm a FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. My duty is to unite my people, black people, and protect the women and children of my nation. You see that the Palestinians, they can't do that. They can't protect the women and children of their nation. They're getting wiped out. So if they neglect, if the world can't do nothing about Palestine, when they start wiping the black man out over here, doing mass murder, sometimes they do a mass murder in a black neighborhood, go to the black church. But when they start killing us, slaughtering us wholesale, who you think gonna help you? If they won't help the Palestinians, they want to help them, but they can't help them because they're afraid of the big bad wolf, America. You know, what you think they're gonna do about you? The once plantation slave of the white man. What you think they're gonna do about you when they start killing you? See, because that sun, they don't have the melanin in them. They don't have the qualities in them that we have. You know, and the BU rays of the sun is affecting them more so than it is us. The only reason why it's affecting us because we won't eat right. Supposed to be eating fruits and vegetables when it's hot. And Dick Gregory told you to liquefy them. And so those who don't eat right don't have no protection. The melanin, you know, is going to be sick. It's not going to be healthy. The melanin in your being, your skin, is going to be sick. It's not going to be working full blast. And some of y'all going to have heat strokes, heart attacks, heat strokes, because you're not eating to live. Get that book, How to Eat to Live, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I am FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. My duty is to unite my people, black people, and protect the women and children of my nation. I will perform my duty faithfully, regardless to whom or what. My life and death are all for Allah. I will be loyal and obedient to the Supreme Being, Allah, and the person of Master Farad Muhammad, who came to Detroit in 1930 to give us the knowledge of self, He's Lord of the worlds, Master of the Day of Judgment. And I pray to Allah that my people wake up in time, into their right minds. So, Assalamu alaikum.